absolutely. I don't want to disturb the energy too much because the experience is still with me. So what we're going to do now is take a short break, and then we'll see you back here for Miracle Moments and the Circle of 12. Well, welcome back, everyone. And Marilyn and Randy, again, thank you so much. I think, Lee, that we should have them come back again. That was so good.
Absolutely. You're going to vote now, maybe in the chat. Would you like them back? Oh, you're going to say yes. I know you're going to say yes.
Well, I'm going to say yes.
Question.
So I would love to have Marilyn and Randy come back again.
I know. Oh, well, most of you know what is coming next. It's time for one of our miracle moments where we celebrate some of the benevolent and often miraculous things that have been reported within our own membership. Now, you can find the Miracle Moments section in your membership portal where you can request prayers of help and benevolence for yourself or someone you love. If you or someone you know, if anybody you know, if it's a family or whatever, has had something amazing happen, we'd love for you to share it with us. We truly love hearing about good things in your life. All benevolent outcomes are worth celebrating, and that's what we do here together on this program. So I'd like to ask Monica to share a miracle moment, which has happened to one of our Wednesdays with Kryon members.
So this miracle moment comes from Renate, and I hope that I say your name correctly. Renate said that over a year ago, I submitted a question in the question and answer section, but never heard an answer. In the meantime, during the summer of 2023, I had a suspected breast cancer. One afternoon after my examination, I got a positive result. The next morning, I decided to listen to the latest replay, which I couldn't see earlier. As always, there was Monica and Lee with their warm greetings, and then Monica said, "Here comes a question from Renate in Germany." I first thought, there must be another Renate in Germany. But no, it wasn't another Renate, and it was my question answered. To hear it just this day was my miracle moment, since the answer was very supportive and helpful. I love that, Renate, and I love how synchronicity works, that sometimes when you can put in a question or a synchronicity you desire to spirit, and we want it when we submit the question, don't we? Hands up, that's me. But the timing is always the timing, and so I think this is a beautiful illustration of how things are always divinely orchestrated, and sometimes they're even better than what we can imagine. So thank you for sharing that, and success, celebration, joy, happiness, all of those things are filled with that miracle moment story. So if you have a question, please submit them. If you have a miracle moment, please submit that as well. And if you are asking for prayers of help, this is where we're sending it right to you right now. I hope you can really feel the energy behind all of us that are supporting you in whatever challenge you're going through right now. Just know these challenges are temporary, and there's divine solutions already around you. And so I invite everyone now to close your eyes. And first, let's just take a moment to know that whatever challenge we are going through personally, there are divine solutions there ready for us, each one of us. There is always a divine solution for whatever challenge you have. And so I encourage everyone now to be in that feeling, that receptivity of gratitude, of knowing that you've just been handed a golden envelope with your divine solution presented to you. And that feeling of relief, joy, ecstatic happiness, bliss, that feeling That feeling is what I ask you now to visualize, send, bathe all of those requesting our help in that energy. And so right now, every person requesting prayers of help, whether it's in the past, present, or future, they are bathing in the energies of joy in receiving the divine solutions they've been asking for. That is the feeling we are generating and creating for all those in this moment. Bliss, happiness, joy, divine expectation of benevolence coming their way. For hope is an active energy, and we are sending out not just hope, but compassionate action, that divine solutions are already there, and we are celebrating the outcome, celebrating the miracle and the joy that it already exists. And from this place of joy and celebration, let us now move to Kryon and the circle of 12.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon. Come a little closer. It's about celebration. This is the theme, as you can tell, from the meditation. How many of you, when you wake up in the morning, have a thought that would go like this: I am so glad I'm here. I celebrate the day for what's going to come to me. I celebrate the day for the synchronicities I don't expect. I celebrate the benevolence before me. Dear ones, there are so many who live in this way. They have an affirmation, for instance, they may give. Something simple. I affirm that today the things that happen to me will have a good purpose, a benevolent purpose, and will turn into guidance. That is something that will also turn into more benevolence. What an idea, what a plan, you might say. But there are so many who wake up just the opposite. Woe is me, it's another day. I wish I could stay in bed. I don't want to get up because I have to go be with ugly people who treat me poorly. And something bad will happen to me today, just like it did yesterday, and on and on and on. I would like to tell you, you have just set up the opposite of affirmations, because energy that is developed from your consciousness doesn't know the difference from what you want and what you say and what you create. So if you're always afraid of something, that something will eventually come forward. Did you know that? Your negative thoughts will create a reality of negativity. Your positive thoughts will create a reality of benevolence. And this is what is not only taught, but has been proven with so many people, with so many lives who have been able to turn it around to celebration. Even when things don't look good, dear ones, it's often a turning point. It's often a mechanic, you might say, who has discovered a broken part in an engine, and when you go into the engine, you find out something you didn't know before that might even save an entire trip or even save lives of your own family because it wasn't caught until you looked at the broken part. These are the kinds of things we teach. Dear ones, there is so much that is hiding in the energy of the human being's ability to go forward and create benevolent things for themselves, for their families, for their lives. And in the process, there's an energy created around you when you practice it that others see and they enjoy. How can you react like this, they may say, when there is so much potential trouble ahead. And you might answer, it's the same for you, it's the same for me, it's the same for all of us. We have potential trouble ahead. We always do. It's about living, it's about life. But we have discovered that we can navigate through it because we've got a light we didn't have before that shines in a way that we know when to turn left and turn right and come through those difficult times with joy. And when we do, we celebrate. How many of you can say that? We're going to move to that bridge in a moment. And the bridge is going to take us to a place where we're going to, if you wish, enjoy something we've never done before. And you're going to have to pretend a little. But for most of you, when you get to that which is a multidimensional reality, sometimes the pretending actually manifests things that are real. There are those who say, I do not subscribe to that whole idea, Kryon, that you just gave, that if we can think things positive and then positive things happen. That is a fairyland of reality that you come from. And let me tell you, if you're one who says that, I will say to you, dear ones, I love you for that statement. Because it really does show the programming and the training that you have had that says that you cannot change anything by thinking good things. You can't change anything by the verbalizations you have. Are you aware that saying that in itself shows that very thing that we teach? Perhaps you're stuck in a reality that you've been trained in. Not that you really believe, that you've been trained in. There are so many who have thought like that, who have had so many changes of ideas because they realized something. That when they started to try, perhaps, or change the idea that thoughts might be energy, and they might actually create that synchronicities of those you meet, or to the turning left and turning right, that may be a real thing. That intuition itself is enhanced through the affirmations, through celebrating good things that are going to happen before they do. And they try it. And they think, this is stupid, this is not going to work, and suddenly it does. And they go, oh my, I have missed this all my life. It's been there all my life, and I didn't know. Bless those of you who don't know. It's not your fault you don't know. It's that which you were programmed, that you were told by those you've trusted that it wouldn't work. But it does. And there's so much of it that works because of, I will call them, realities you cannot see or experience yet. Multidimensional forces, if you wish, that are at work, that do work. My partner, he lives his life this way. He depends on things he didn't expect, that pushes and pulls him into corners that seem like a trap, perhaps, or seem like they're not going to work, perhaps, and there he meets somebody else who has answers he was looking for months. This is the way that Spirit loves you the most, by exposing the magnificent things you can do that you don't even believe you can do, or that nobody has really told you that is possible. Most humans spend their lives spiritually with their hands out. Please, God, do this. Please, God, do that. I pray for this, I pray for that. Help me here, help me there. Not understanding that the most benevolent and miraculous things are going to come from the God inside you instead of the God outside you. That there is immense power in that which you can do through the God in you, through the consciousness that you create every day, that puts you on a path. So much more powerful than sitting back with your hand out and saying, please help me. Do you understand what this message is about? The Circle of 12. It's a time when we get together and celebrate things. It's a time where you go to your soul energy. And in that energy, you discover things you'd never discovered before. That's the purpose of the Circle of 12 visualization. So we're going to do one now. Now, this is as real as you want it to be, but I'm going to ask you to take my hand. Let's cross that bridge. Together we cross the bridge, perhaps with others, the brothers and sisters who are your soul group together. You never know who's crossing that with you. And you go through the mist in the middle that obfuscates what's coming. And you arrive at a landscape which is unbelievably beautiful and peaceful, and you start to recognize it as home. The first thing a human does when you see that landscape is saying, oh my, I'd love to live here. And you do, and you don't even know it. This is the home of your soul, your essence, who you are. And you've heard this all your life, that every single human has a soul. But no one's ever told you you can access it now, or what might be there, or that it's upon you all the time, not somewhere else, not beyond the veil, not across the bridge, but with you all the time. It's a place that does not resound to you because it's not in 3D or 4D. It's not your reality back in the place where you may be sitting right now. It's beyond that. And so that is the theme. And you go to this beautiful landscape, this soul of yours, gorgeous in every way, peaceful. You're starting to relax in there. We ask you to, again, go through a door, which means you're passing from one area to another, and you go through it. And the going through the door episode, if you want to say, is simply an acknowledgement that you're passing into another energy. And in this energy, you go to a room. Not a stage, not a theater, not a stadium, a room. And in this room, there is a giant, seemingly mirror-like glass instrument in front of you, the size of a full-length mirror, a little bigger than that. And you know something is going to happen. Some of you who will have many ideas of watching films, and I'll say, well, I'm going to step through that mirror into another place. Not tonight. That may come another time. I would like to introduce you to a spiritual lens. Now, what is the lens? If you don't know what the lens is, go back and listen to the channeling of today. I predicted an invention will come where you can look through a lens. And it may not be the kind of lens in a camera. It may be a mirror-like thing. It may be a square. It may be bigger than you suspect. And when you look through it, you will see things on the other side that are normal, but are not. And I told you. You'll put ordinary things in front of the lens and you'll see unordinary results. You'll see multidimensionality. So, what would this lens represent? This will be a spiritual lens. Now, here's where we're going to pretend a little. Coming forward is an angel, a scientist angel. How many of you think that science and spirituality are completely and totally separate protocols, or separate disciplines, as they say, and one does not belong with the other? There are a lot of churches who will tell you to ignore science because it cannot be right. They are right. There's a lot of science who will say ignore churches because that's fantasy. and science always prevails. And there you have that unfortunate split that keeps people away from both sides. So I ask you again, who is the master physicist of this universe? Who placed the chemistry and all the things that work the way they do? And the answer is the creative source, which many of you call God. You cannot have science without God. You cannot have God without understanding that God is the master scientist. Having placed everything the way it works, the more you discover about science, the more you see the glory of the machine that was put together by the Creator, that which is the benevolence of spirit, the one we speak of, the one inside you, the one that loves you. The love of science, in a way, is the love of the way things work, created by spirit. So the angel of science is before you, and the angel says, step in front of the lens. Let's take a look at you. So instead of you having to be on the other side of the lens, it's a mirror which shows what you are today, and the multidimensional you starts to appear, but it's not the multidimensional you in 3 or 4D or multi-D. It's the spiritual you, the part that we have talked about, the part that you don't really believe is there until we talk about it. And when you see you in the mirror, you want to sit down. You can say, this can't be right. This can't be right. And the angel side says to you, this is the soul you. This is what we see when we look at you. This is what Spirit sees when we look at you. And we look at you in a form that you will recognize and not recognize because it's angelic. And you start to see in this beautiful reflected mirror the beauty of an angelic presence that glows. You start to see that which is the higher self, the golden one, inserted within you, smiling at you as though, I told you I was here. I'm always with you, you know. And the more you look and the more you examine, the more parts and pieces you see of yourself. But the one that impresses you the most, and this is why I want you to stay, the one that impresses you the most is you see other souls within you. You see their faces. You see the ones you've loved and lost still there. You see the ones that you wished were your guides, or you didn't know they were your guides, or you wish you knew what they looked like, and they're there. And you see a family, a soul family that you never knew you had or wished you had, which is there in the mirror. The spiritual self shows it all. It's real, dear ones. This is not a visualization. You don't have to pretend on this one. We've just shown you. We've just shown you. It's how God sees you. It's what's there. All of that, before you have too much more sorrow about the death of a friend or the death of a loved one or any of these things, I want you to know there is a system that has them go inside you in a multidimensional way to comfort you and be with you until your last breath. This is a system of benevolence that you should celebrate. How many of you are using that? Or how many of you instead have your hand out to say, Dear Spirit, help me with my grief? Instead of knowing who's inside and knowing that the answer to all of your grief is taking the hand of the one who passed and say, thank you for being inside me, for being with me now in a different way. I know you're still here. Oh, that's just one of the parts and the pieces. We may revisit this mirror again, but I want you to stay and keep looking at yourself. And yes, some of you may have to sit down. It's that good. It's that magnificent. Stay for a while. Stay. And so it is.